products are unregulated and could be highly volatile. Please be aware of the risks before investing.
राज, बाबूजी के आशीर्वाद से हमने अपनी नई शुरुआत तो कर ली, पर अपना फ्यूचर प्लान कैसे करें?
बड़े-बड़े शहरों में ऐसी छोटी-छोटी बातें होती रहती हैं।
Looking for perfect start? Get a Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
जब मैं तेरी उम्र का था ना, तो एक सक्सेसफुल करियर, लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग सब रेडी करके रख चुका था। और एक इन महाराज को देखो, पूरा दिन फोन में लगा रहेगा।
दैट प्लानिंग तो मैंने भी कर रखी है, Unocoin के साथ।
नए जमाने के साथ नई चीजें आजमाएं। Looking for Bitcoin? Download the Unocoin app.
We really need to work hard. This wasn't a good quarter. Tell me, are you happy with this?
Yes! Unocoin.
Want to earn Bitcoin? Just grab your phone and shake it. Download the Unocoin app.
Bitcoin.
Get a systematic buying plan from the Unocoin app to get your Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
नमस्ते डियर Unocoiners, एक बार फिर से स्वागत है आप सबका इन वन ऑफ आवर Q&A लाइव सेशंस, जिसको आप अदरवाइज कॉन्वर्सेशन के नाम से भी जानते हैं। सो आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक है वो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है, क्योंकि आज हम दो क्रिप्टो करेंसीज के बारे में बात करने जा रहे हैं, सोलाना एंड कार्डानो, और देखेंगे कि इनके फ्यूचर में क्या है। वैसे कि तो आपको पता है कि फ्यूचर प्रेडिक्ट करना किसी के हाथ में नहीं है, चाहे ज्योतिषी हो चाहे एनालिस्ट, बट यहाँ पर हम चार्ट्स को देख करके यहाँ अंदाजा लगाने वाले हैं कि किस तरीके से इन दोनों का जो फ्यूचर है वो शेप हो सकता है। सो ऑब्वियसली एक छोटा सा डिस्क्लेमर पहले, इससे पहले कि हम आज का सेशन चालू करें, आपको हमेशा अपनी रिसर्च करनी है। दिस इज अ टेक्निकल एनालिसिस, तो ऑब्वियसली ये की इंडिकेटर्स पर बेस्ड है, बट आपको हमेशा अपनी रिसर्च को पूरी तरीके से करना है। So to introduce our today's guest, Sathish, welcome back. How are you feeling today?
Hi Shamvi, I'm feeling great. How about you?
I'm great too. So जिन्होंने हमारा पिछला EMA नहीं देखा है, Sathish is our in-house expert on these matters, and of course he is a crypto trading expert and that. And पिछले सेशंस में आपने देखा है कि किस तरीके से हमने क्रिप्टो करेंसी के प्राइस प्रेडिक्शन के बारे में बात की है with टेक्निकल एनालिसिस। आज के इस एम में हम दो स्पेसिफिक क्रिप्टो करेंसीज की बात करने जा रहे हैं। तो जब तक हम ये सेशन जो है थोड़ा सा स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, तब तक आप कमेंट्स में लिखना चालू कर दीजिए कि इसमें से कौन सी क्रिप्टो करेंसी आपकी फेवरेट है। सो गो अहेड। So Satish, to give a quick head start to our session today, I am personally very excited क्योंकि ये दोनों ही cryptocurrencies are very very prominent when we
Right.
talk about even the top 10 cryptocurrencies. These two are very prominent,
Right.
and interestingly, when we see Cardano and Solana are two names we, as trader, you often take and you often talk about with your fellow traders. So what is a quick overview of these two currencies if we have to talk about it?
Sure, Sambhavi. I think today's session is kind of very interesting and intriguing. Reason being, these are very, very promising projects, right? And this could hopefully, one of the ways for the viewers and, our users probably to get a foot for thought so that they can start doing their own research and, try to understand more deeper. And end of it, some might feel like, they found, a promising project and they can kind of hook up on it, right? So just to give a very, very high level understanding for users who doesn't have much idea about it. So the two protocols, right, or the two projects which we are going to discuss today are primarily L1 protocols. When I say L1, it is primarily because it's kind of, let's say, level 1, like the first level, right? So these are basically protocols. So where these protocols, has an architecture which produce the block, with their own mechanism of, consensus, like Bitcoin has proof of work, right? So similarly, Cardano has proof of stake and Solana has a proof of history, right? So they have their own consensus mechanism, and the underlying fact is they produce chains, blockchains, right? So they produce blocks, and they also takes care of the, all the salient features of blockchain, the decentralization, security, transparency, the scalability and all those stuff. So these things vary for each blockchains, right? So now why they are called it as L1 is because they provide just an architecture. On top of it, all the dApps or the decentralized application, what we call as, right? So that can be developed, right? So which means they're providing a platform for all the entrepreneurs, dApp developers to develop on that. So just to give a very, very crude analogy, right? Probably not, don't take it as a face value. Just consider it like a, Google Play Store and App Store. So this is a platform on top of which, let's say, we can build an app and host it on that, right?
Yes.
So similarly, on this platform, we can build, let's say, decentralized Ola, decentralized Swiggy, and we can host on Cardano and Solana. All right. So that's the whole ideology about that.
Okay, so both of these platforms are serving the same purpose, more or less. What makes them unique?
So as I told, be it Ethereum, there are a lot of L1s. Ethereum is there, Solana, Cardano, Near Protocol, Harmony. So we can name a lot of things, right? So there are certain things that stand out, right? Obviously, Ethereum, because it's the first mover advantage, they are the pioneers. They started this L1 concept as such, right? Then comes, so these are also called as Ethereum killer because they are kind of, ambitious about overtaking that, place, right? So the underlying thing about the architecture of all these protocol is they are trying to solve a trilemma. When I say trilemma, there are three facets. One is security, which is required, and scalability, so that the mass can adopt. And the third one is decentralization, right? So when we say it's a trilemma, primarily because if we try to focus or improve one aspect, we have to trade off other two. For example, if we wanted to focus more on security part, we have to trade off the scalability part, right? Classic example is Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is highly secured. That is the reason why it is slow. If they wanted to make it very fast, they have to compromise the other two. So you understand that, right? I think I'm trying to make it very clear. So similarly, if you want to make it more decentralized, again they have to kind of forego or trade off security, right? So if they want, it's very, very difficult to achieve all the three in optimization, right? So that's the reason everyone has taken a stand of a particular balance point, right? So if you can see, one of the major thing would be like Solana versus Cardano. Solana is very, very fast, right? They have a transaction per second of in terms of tens of thousands, whereas Cardano has into few hundreds, right? And they also take it transaction per second and finality in few seconds. This will take the block seconds will be like every block will take 20 seconds, and finality, which means the transaction to confirm, that will take few minutes, right? So these are different. So Solana is very faster, and the finality is very, very execution is very faster compared to Cardano. It's kind of slower, but it is more decentralized. Cardano is more decentralized than this one. So people when they try to understand this trilemma, and so everyone have their own kind of priorities, right?
Yes.
So some will like X actor, some will like Y actor, like example, right? Some will like for rom-com movies, some like very action-packed movies. So similarly, there are users who are for decentralization. They want the security and decentralization aspect. They will choose certain set of blockchains. There are users who want like very quick, lightning fast execution. They choose this type of network, right? And for same for goes for developers as well. If the development or the particular utility or the particular business requires more security, they go for protocol which focus on security. And there are if the DApp requires immediate transaction, immediate execution, they go for the protocol which aims for the faster speed.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the beauty of cryptocurrency is that we have so many of them and
Right.
each having their own unique
Right.
qualities. By the way, guys, we keep doing these about coins on our social media channel where you get to know about a particular coin every week. So do make sure to follow all of our social media channels to stay tuned and keep learning about these different set of coins and what they are all about. So that is an interesting thing. Even Satish helps us with a very interesting thing that's called Know Your Chart. So you get to understand a lot of different chart patterns. Some of which is something that we've already discussed in these AMAs,
Right.
and maybe some we'll discuss today. So moving forward, Satish, if we look at both of these projects and their past history, so which one do
Yeah.
you think has a stronger stance for the coming bull run?
All right. See, again, future is highly speculative, right? So
Yes.
whatever I'm gonna discuss now, just to put a disclaimer, it's my personal opinion,
Yes.
right? So which I could be completely wrong as well in hindsight after 6 months or 2 years, right? So see, the point of contention of today's discussion is Solana and Cardano, right? So Cardano, it's there from 2017. It's been standard test of times for like one market, and it's also standing its test of time in current bear market. Compared to Solana, so Solana was around 2020. So this is the first bear market, and I would say it's kind of weathering well. In spite of apart from bear market, it also had a lot of other funds that surrounding FTX and Alameda Research and all those stuffs, right? And with respect to both, I think they are standing or they are holding well in the bear market. The only advantage is Cardano has more showcasing power to show that it has more standing power, right? But nevertheless, Solana also is doing fairly well, right? So going forward, I think both has a good potential. As I told, Solana and Cardano, they are not kind of competing each other. So as I told, Solana's focus is primarily on fast execution, make it very fast, and finality is kind of instant. Whereas Cardano is kind of it's focusing more on decentralization and the security aspect, right? And it's like they first sorted out the speed, and now they're working on decentralization, the trilemma thing. Whereas Cardano, first they are sorting out the decentralization and security part. Once that is kind of secured, then they slowly optimize and make it more speeder. So that's the both have a different vision altogether, right?
Yes.
So and I think there is a place for both of these protocols in the future world of blockchain, where I don't think personally it's going to be a zero sum game. It's like only one protocol is going to be a monopoly, right? Because as I told, different protocols will have the next phase or wave is going to be interoperability, right? So all the different blockchains will kind of interact with each other. That's how the kind of evolution that's going to happen, which means that there is a space for all the things. And Solana and Cardano, they're already kind of carving out their own niche, right? So they are going to fare well in the bull market that is expecting or anticipating now, right? Given that, the reason I'm putting for my hypothesis is because they have hold very well in the current bear market.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's interesting how we are looking at these two cryptocurrencies with different priorities of its own. तो जैसे कि आप लोग को ड्रिल पता है, there is a comment section open from whichever platform you're watching. Whatever questions you have got, guys, that could be related to Cardano and Solana in any terms. So please don't hesitate to drop down your questions in the comment section, and Satish here will be very happy to answer those questions. And that is what we are here for practically. So, Satish, moving forward, as we see both of these currencies, and I know you have been in this system for a very long time. what are the particular technical indicators on chart that you would prefer to look at when maybe looking at one of these particular cryptocurrency and trying to analyze their upcoming days?
See, again, since we are talking about the core level, right? Or it's when we're discussing, I think the whole discussion is not about how to profit in next 15 or 30 minutes. When we
Yes,
try to understand the whole
absolutely.
project inside, in a holistic way, I think it's about the long term prospect, right? So in that case, I think fundamental analysis or trying to understand the project also, it's actually way more, right?
It
So
is.
try to go as deep as possible, the white papers, and as I told, there is Cardano works on proof of stake and Solana works on proof of history. So what is proof of stake and proof of history? Who are the founding team? How are they doing? And all sort of things like how many dApps are currently there? What is the total value logged? How many transactions happening? All those things probably gives a better understanding about which has a stronger metrics and stuffs. That is one. And second one is, of course, we can definitely go to the chart, my favorite part, right? So let me share my screen. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes.
All right. So okay, so right, so this is from the inception, right? So again, I'm talking about the holistic view. So this is from 2017 when it came, and we had the 2018 bull market peak around 1.3 cents. Then the typical bear market we had, then it started recovering, and we had this dip is a COVID crash, right? So then we had to 2021 bull market, and we are currently in the present bear market, right? So if you see the pattern, kind of maybe the data is less compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? But if you see, we had from the bottom we go up in the bull market, again we comes down in the bear market, go up in the bull market, we are down here, right? So going by this, if we just say this pattern to anyone, they will be like, okay, now we are down. We don't be like down forever. So what is the next? There will be a point where it will reverse, right? So that's the anticipating bull market we are looking for, right? So now if you see from the technical aspect analysis, like I have drawn a couple of lines, right? So this is like previous bull market. So this is a downturn trend. So for over a year, the price was within this down trend, and once it breaks away, then it started, kind of reversing, right? If you could see here in the current bull run on the current bear market, so again we had a downturn trend, and we have been there for a long time, and quite some time back we had kind of broken that out, and so now again we are kind of consolidating with another trend. So once this one is breached, then I think we can anticipate the upward movement that is going to happen. So probably once this is breached, so we can aim for this level as intermediate and midterm, and we have this level which is $1.2, and we have $2.3 and the all-time high. These are the 3 or 4 aspects or 4 levels which we can aim for in the medium to long term. And once it's breached the all-time high, then it is typically called as a price discovery phase because we don't have any levels to refer. Then there are certain elements like Fibonacci and a lot of things which we can
Yes.
do, but always don't try to catch the exact top. So once it is in a premium position, you can start slowly average out, right? So this is what ADA is currently in. So it's kind of repeating the same pattern more or less, as we say that history often rhyme, though it might not repeat exactly, it rhymes, right? So we have a downturn, so downturn is kind of breached and we are kind of going sideways, and we formed another small downturn. Once this downtrend has been breached, I think we'll go up. And if you want to see the pattern which resonates across whole industry, you can see almost similar pattern here, right? So we had this chart is about Solana. So again we had a top in 2021. So we have been in the downturn for almost close to 2.5 years, and similar to ADA, we kind of recently moved out of it, and again, like similar to ADA, we formed another small downturn, right? But the difference here is, compared to ADA, Solana has already breached that downturn or downtrend, and it's going up. ADA is still in the downturn. Probably it may take some time. So it doesn't really matter when it's going to happen or something like that. If the fundamental is strong, so the market will follow, right? So with respect to the levels here, I think one now that it's breached here, so we have this level to target $25 and we have $32 in the next phase. And if it keeps continuing, we have 140 and the all-time high. So these are the 3-4 key levels from mid to long term that we can have. This is like very very basic analysis or price points I'm talking about, primarily based on the level which it tests this downtrend line, right? So this is the in the downtrend line, this is the point it has been touched. So this is one of the key level, and in this downtrend line we have these two levels. So these are the key levels which I'm talking about. So there can be a lot of other analysis as well, but on high level, I think let's say 80 to 90% of the bear market is behind us. Probably it can go even lower, but I think the just to give a small perspective, the space above is highly probable, or it's kind of very exclusive than below, right? Because the maximum drawdown is almost complete, right? So I think we are kind of in a phase where we are kind of reversing, and we can expect next 1.5 years or 2 years to be kind of good. Again, not a financial advice as such, it's my personal opinion.
Absolutely, guys. So, like we always keep saying, do your own research. That is the key and the most, what do I say? The basis of everything that you do, not just in cryptocurrencies, but your other investments as well. Doing your own research is very, very important. And on that note, we have a little piece of information to give you all. Recently, we have been coming across a lot of cases of P2P trading scams. अब ये scams क्या हैं? Satish will help you understand in a more professional way, but you have to listen here very carefully because you could be a part of this even when you are not aware that you know could become a part of this. So Satish,
Sure.
can you just explain us what is
All
P2P
right.
scam?
Yeah, I think last few months this kind of incident has been reporting very frequently, and the frequency is kind of increasing in alarming phase. So typically P2P, I think it's just by the name it explains, it's a peer-to-peer, right? So
yes.
instead of going with intermediate like using a bank or using any exchange, we can just do a UPI, right? So but how the trust will happen, probably that's where some exchange will facilitate and some other platform will facilitate, right? So the reason why people did do that is because primarily they wanted to don't want to get to the hassle of TDS and filings and stuff, or with maybe very small amount, right? Or whatever, the irrespective of amount, right? So there are two primary challenge or risks that they have. One is when they do a peer-to-peer, and if they are not trustable person, if they don't know personally and stuff, there is a chance of that guy can kind of evade away with money that you transfer, and it's very difficult to track. The second one is, which is now most of the people will not do that because they know they people are smart enough that they will not transfer money to a random stranger.
Yes.
So they will definitely go to some platform which the platform act as escrow. So the first part or the first aspect which I'm talking about is kind of minimal, right? So a person kind of just running away with the money is very very minimal. But the second one is what has taken a very very kind of a frequent way, right? So here, though we traverse through platform and stuff, let's say I'm doing a P2P with you, so I'm sending, let's say, 1,000 rupees or whatever for crypto, or let's say I'm buying it or selling it, whatever it is. So there's a transaction happening. So through escrow I can secure the transactions, but I don't know how are you gonna use it. Or when I say you, it's like the other person, it can be anyone, right? Whether that person is gonna use it for illegal activity or for money laundering or for any other unsolicited activity, we don't know, right? Or in fact it can be layered, even that person can be genuine, but since he is doing P2P, like he might do P2P with a lot of other people, one of the person he's doing P2P, he might do some illegal activities. So when that illegal activity happens, so when it get tracked, all the whole transactions will be kind of tracked, right? So then you will be also part of that transaction chain. So there is a chance that your account will get freezed because of since you have been part of the transaction. So definitely you have your chances to go and explain, and you have your fair chance to say that you're not part of any illegal. This is the part I play. I just play a genuine transactional part, right? But it's a very very hassle part, right? Because before even you get a chance to explain and all those things, your account will first get freezed. Then only because you will come to know you can't do any transaction, your account is not active, then only you will realize that, and you will get to the bank and you will come to know that you have been part of it, right?
Exactly.
And then the getting the legals and police stations explaining that, we don't know, the complaint can be in Delhi, then you have to
Yeah, you
run
have
through
to
Delhi,
travel all the way back
right?
to Delhi.
So there are a lot of hassles that are there. The simple reason why people are going for P2P is because it's probably can be faster. It can be like you don't need to do the paperwork of TDS and the filings and stuff. But I think this is not worth for the risk and the hassle and the headaches that you're gonna get. Likely when if I'm not talking about out all the P2P transactions are going to be like that, but it's not in your control. You can be part of it at any
Exactly.
point of time.
Exactly. And we have been spreading a lot of communication regarding this lately. You can even check out our latest blog to learn more about this. But guys, it's always safer to use an exchange like Unocoin, because over here at least there's an entity that is in charge. Over there's nobody who can take charge of what's happening, and it's gonna be just you strung with something that you don't even know that you were a part of. So it's always very safe and secure to use an exchange as compared to a P2P transaction. I know lately people, in India, people are so jugadu, they just want to save their taxes.
All right.
So people have been using P2P to save their taxes. Now 1% TDS is like $1 on $100. It won't make much a difference for you, but if you get stranded in some legal problems, that will be costing you way more
Yeah.
than that $1 that you tried to save. So absolutely, please be safe and secure regarding this, and always take your steps very carefully. Okay. Now in the comment section, I see here Sunny Ray. Okay. So our president and co-founder here, we see in the comment section, he's saying, "Thank you, Satish. This is great. Thank you so much, Sunny, for watching our
Right.
AMA. It's great
Nice to
having
know
you
Sunny
here."
is online.
Yeah, it's nice to know that you're online and you're watching our AMA. Okay. So Satish, moving forward with our questions itself. Now we see that, these things are already there. There are different strategies for different cryptocurrencies that we see. Some people are very bullish on Bitcoin. Like Sunny is one of those, he's bullish on only Bitcoin as such.
Right.
But we see people, there are communities for different coins,
Right.
and they're bullish on that particular coin. Obviously there's a different sort of strategy that they try to follow for each of these. So which of do you think that there's a set rule of strategies, or maybe something that you can tell from at the top of your mind, like there's
Right.
something that people could follow to understand these?
Again, see, there is no set rule as such because everyone's preference is completely subjective, right? So that's there is a reason why there is a community for Ethereum, there's a community for Bitcoin, because that match their preferences. All right. So coming to the point of contention today, Solana and Cardano, right? So probably these are very contrasting stuff. As I told one focus on scalability, they want to be very fast and they want to be very quick, and one focus I'm talking about Solana, and the counterpart is Cardano, which primarily focus on being very secured and being highly decentralized. So of course they don't have they're not as quick or fast as Solana, right? So, and there are also different dApps as well. These are the L1 protocol platforms, right? So on top of it, there are a lot of applications that has been built. So you can also go and check on what sort of applications that are there, like similar to you go to Google Store, you put let's say games. If you are interested in game, choose a category, you'll see what are the games are there in Google Store. If you go and see music apps, what are the music apps are there. If you go and see e-commerce, what are the e-commerce are there. So similarly, you can go and check in both the platform what are the DeFi dexes are there. When I say dex, decentralized exchanges are there, what are lending protocols, or NFT platforms, gaming. So you can able to see what are the things that are already there which you feel that is interested to you. And see, of course, coming typical to any crypto ecosystem, right? So there will be a lot of junks as well, scams and rug pull that will happen across all the spaces, be it Cardano as well as Solana, right? So you have to be very cautious not to just throw away your money. So what I'm trying to say is try to understand your ethos, like what do you like, what do you prefer. Like, see, for me personally, let's say I like Cardano comparatively or relatively, for the reason being, as I told, it has tested its times, and probably it's like I have the conviction like it's going to be there for probably a decade, next decade, right? So reason being because their methodical approach, they have been complained they are slow, but that is what I liked, right? Which is contrasting, right? So the kind of USP for Solana compared to Cardano is Solana is faster, right? But the very fact that Solana is slow and steady is what I liked, right? So which is contradicting. So as I told, that's the reason I told everyone has their own preference and subjective, right? So in a very very high level, try to have a holistic understanding and see which one is kind of aligning with your interest. And again, it need not just confined to only Cardano and Solana. It can be near protocol, Harmony, or whatever. But if you are very new, I think just don't overfed your research table. Probably you can start just go with Ethereum, Bitcoin, and then slowly migrate into other things, because all the other things which I'm talking about, the DeFi, lending, all the decentralized applications, all these will take the learning curve, right? So it better to start with. That's why there is always Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you can start your journey with that, and once you travel, then once you have the comfort zone with your playing field, then you can start exploring the other options.
Absolutely. I think that's a great piece of advice, Satish, when it comes to that. And both of these cryptocurrencies, honestly, so this morning itself, or I think yesterday, I came across this news that, okay, I'm going to ask this question later. I'm saving it because it's
Okay.
an interesting one.
Right.
We have a question here in the comment section by ADDHDH. I'm so sorry, I don't know what it is pronounced, so I'm just gonna make it ADD. Okay. So ADD here is asking how much coins are to be maintained under our portfolio, be it Solana or ADA.
How much coin? I'm kind of didn't get the question
I
clearly.
think he's asking about the bifurcation. If we have to maintain a portfolio, how much percentage should be Solana and how much should be
Okay.
Cardano?
Holistically, it's also kind of subjective because it depends on the risk averse. If you want, just to give again, don't take it as a financial advice because it can backfire very well. So if you wanted to kind of maintain a wealth, and grow it consistently, I think the blue chips like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, the top 10 could be an ideal one. But if you want to multiply or get rich, probably you have to take more risk, right? So you can see slightly below, top 20, or just leave around the top 20 and next set of things, right? That you're taking more risk, but that's where you're also able to generate the wealth, right? But these set of coins has their own specialized objective,
record.
right? So they are, it's like compared to traditional stocks, we have blue chips, right? So blue chips will not give you the multipliers. It's not a multi-bagger, right? So if
But
you want
it's
multi-bagger,
steady.
yeah, probably. But most of the portfolio should go there. Let's say 70% of your portfolio should go to this blue chips, so that they secure the 70% and gives it has a steady growth, and the remaining whatever it can be varied. It can be 80-20 or 90-10. So some people who don't want to take more risk, they can put only 10% or something like that to the other things, which that 10% can try to it can give more returns, right? So coming back to here, so within this blue chips, I think again it's subject to like you can have amongst that. I personally try to find the right word. I don't want to recommend or don't want to suggest. I personally say that in on my preferences, I would like Bitcoin and Ethereum will have major chunk, like out of the let's say 70-30 if I want to split this 70% for blue chips. Out of the 70%, 50% will go for those two, and the remaining 50% I will have Solana and Cardano. Probably I will have Dot as well, right? So personally, I might have slightly higher allocation on Cardano than Solana, but it can be vice versa for other persons as well, or it can be equal distribution as well, right? So if that is the question, if the percentage is the question, I think I have answered. But if you're asking how many coins that like you want to have 100k ADA or something
That
like that,
absolutely
that
depends on what kind
yeah.
of money you have to
Exactly.
spare on this. So I think he is slightly clarified his question. He's asking quantity multiplier per prediction.
Okay. See, quantity, as I told, it's completely depends on the portfolio value, that the investment value that you're going to have. Again, it's kind of speculative thing. So just assume that as a safe conservative stuff, like we are going to just reach the previous all-time high, right? So previous all-time high of Cardano, the token ADA is $3.10, right? And currently we are sitting around 25 cents, which is like close to 12x, right? So we can
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, there was a little discrepancy.
Fine now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what I was talking is, so previously, the previous all-time high of Cardano was $3.1, and currently it sits around 25 cents. So we have around 12x growth that we can speculate if we are having a target or hypothesis that, let's say, it's going to reach that. Right? And similarly, if we see Solana, we are currently sitting at $25 and we have around $250 as a all-time high, which is again 10 to 11x, right? So if we take that as a hypothesis, it's almost 10 to 12x of both. Beyond that, the price discovery phase, I think it can go up to whatever extent it can based on different aspects, right? So that we can discuss probably after a break, which we can
Yes.
have.
So we're gonna quickly take a 30-second break, not more than that. So stay here. We're gonna answer all your questions. We see more questions. So please just stay tuned. Okay, so once again we are back here. We were discussing on a very interesting topic, that is Cardano versus Solana price predictions for 2023. Right now we were talking about the preference as per ETD asked here, like how much coins are we supposed to have in our portfolio,
Right.
and what would be the personal preference of Satish. I'm mentioning that as personal preference again because you always have to do your own research. Okay. So here we have Sanjay Sanju. He's asking, "Hi, when will EDM price increase?" That's
Okay.
the most common kind of question, but I
All
think
right. See, again, if you have been following the price trend, which I was talking about, right? Probably I will share my screen. See, the pattern is kind of clear here, right? So this is like $3.1 in 2021, right? The bull market peak, and we have been in a continuous downtrend for till like January, starting of this year. At least we had broken the downtrend in starting of this year and kind of consolidating, and this is a pattern like which keeps forming, right? So we have another downtrend. So see, again, there is no guarantee, like the market does what the market wants, but what as a value investor, what we have to be closely watching is the fundamentals, as I told. What are the different aspects that we want to look for, and with respect to chart and price, let's say we can look for this line to breach first as our first level of first target, right? So once this level breach, which is currently sitting around let's say 28-29 cents, right? So once this breach, I think at least the mid-level downturn is kind of broken out, and then we can expect the price reversal. I think by the time all the narratives also kind of confluence with Bitcoin halving, ETF, and everything is coming up, right? So I think that's how it's going to happen. But if you see, according, at least in my opinion, the worst is kind of behind us, and we are kind of in a even worse stage, which is not the downturn, but in the boring consolidation phase. So which is actually more challenging to kind of weather out. But once we can able to stand out, see, if you have been there from like last 1 or 2 years, like we have gone through a lot of test of times and test of character. And if you have gone through all this and you are still here, I think you have to tap your back yourself, and I think you can look for a very good future, right? So that's for Cardano, and I think the pattern remains the same for Solana as well. So we kind of rounding back with our reversal sentiments, and probably by next few months, by March or April, when all the confluencing things kind of join together, like halving and the ETFs and stuff, the market sentiment will turn to be very positive. So as the price.
Absolutely. I think this is something that happens in every bull run, that
Yes.
Bitcoin is the leader of the market and all the other altcoins
Right.
follow. So, like what I was gonna discuss with you previously before we address these questions, I came across this very interesting piece of news from CoinShares. According to CoinShares, Solana is the most favorite cryptocurrency of 2023 because in the past 27 weeks, it has seen a very good inflow. Now, obviously these kind of news keeps coming. Like, this is a
Yep.
journalized information that I, came across. These kind of news keeps coming about every other coin, every week, every day. Now, how does this impact, the sort of current scenario of that particular cryptocurrency? Because this is into a little fundamental side of the
Right.
things. So I just wanted to know, how does it impact?
Got that. I think even in last couple of sessions that we had, one thing which I told is, don't take all this narrative from face value. Like,
Yes.
let's say you are seeing a tweet or you're seeing some headlines or whatever it is, just don't take it by face value. Like, because there can be lot of bias back, or that can be some agenda driven, whatever it is, right? Be it good news or bad news, right? So there could be a reason why this news might be coming or floating around, right? So just to drive the market, just to drive the retail folks to do some action, so that the institute, I mean, I don't want to get into the smart money concepts and the retail money concepts, but what two senses, if you're seeing any news, okay, you can take that as a confluencing fact but not as a decisive fact, right? So take that as a confronting fact, but do your own research. As I told, let's say if they claim that Solana is the most, say, favorite token, so be it, but you do your research on their metrics, as what is the total value logged there, how the price are there going there, what are the transactions happening, as I told, what are the dApps are there. Let's say there could be suddenly some killer dApp that would have come and kind of making the whole place go crazy, right? So all these things is what has to be from your side. So the simple funda here is, again, the reason why we keep on beating around that, do your own research, is because, trust me, that helps you and you won't get burnt.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, doing your own research is something that will help you in every other aspect. If you have the knowledge of something that you have gained yourself, it is the best kind of knowledge, trust me, and it's your best kind of asset that you can have. That'll make you more money than, listening to
Right.
any other influential figure in the industry. There's so many influencers, Satish, that we see, and they're, talking a lot about these predictions and all, but I think always the best measure is to do your own research.
Exactly,
Because
that happens, right? So every interest has their own bias and own agenda. Like, just for example, like even I told here, like I kind of favor Cardano over
yeah,
Solana.
you are a
It doesn't
Cardano
mean
bro.
that Cardano is better than Solana. But for me, I like Cardano better relatively. So it's not true that Cardano is better, or it's not given written in stone that Cardano is better, right? Or I'm not suggesting you, or you should not take it as a face value, like, okay, since he told that he likes Cardano, let me also go into Cardano. That should not be the case, and same goes
Exactly.
for any other influencers.
Exactly. And you should always know why are you believing in something, because I'm sure Satish has his reasons to believe in Cardano. You should have your reasons to believe in a certain cryptocurrency. And if you talk to Sunny, he has his own
Right.
set of reasons to believe
Believe
in
in
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah.
Yeah. So here we have another question from Mohammed Majid. He's asking, what will happen if and when Bitcoin's ETFs get approved by the SEC, and will all the other altcoin prices will rise?
Right. Okay. Theoretically, yes. The reason is, again, see, I think when I always start, I say that the market is being driven by human emotions, fear and greed, right? So the reason why Bitcoin is kind of leading the market, when Bitcoin goes up, all the market goes, all the other crypto goes up, and the same goes vice versa, right? The reason is, people will first put money on Bitcoin, because let's say if you are a novice trader and you have some amount to put, as even right now I suggest you just go and start with Bitcoin, right? So everyone will start the money with Bitcoin. The money flow into the system will come to Bitcoin first. Once Bitcoin started going up, and let's say your money grown, right? So now you become greedy, right? So that profit is not enough for you. Now, as I told,
Now you
these are
want
blue
more
chips.
money.
These are blue chips, as I told, if you want more money, you go to next set of riskier asset. That's why what happens when Bitcoin goes up, the money grows. They take the money out of greed and put in these coins, and these coins also grows up, right? And same, when Bitcoin started going down, they panic and they pulled out the money. So coming to your question, when ETF get approved, theoretically it is good for Bitcoin, so that the portfolio grows, and again the greed kicks in. People will take the money for the profit from Bitcoin, and that will be flooded into these altcoins. And again, as I told, theoretically this will be very good for the whole market.
Yes, I mean, this is something that most people are holding on to, the Bitcoin ETF approval, and of course, our halving that's coming up
Right.
in the next year. I think April, that
yes.
is. So that is something that most of the people are holding on to, and I think sure as hell it's going to be great. Historically speaking, it has happened in the past four bull runs.
Yeah.
This will be the fourth or fifth?
Fourth.
This will be the fourth. So in the past three bull runs, this has happened. And you should just always try to keep a track of market, always keep reading the news to have a better understanding of what's happening around. So even Satish, I saw this Monday the ETF, Ethereum ETF, for, I think futures ETF.
Yes.
It got on the US market.
Right.
So it did not kind of have a great impact. It
The
received
reason,
like a
yes.
lukewarm.
In fact, because the reason is it is not the spot ETF, right? There's a difference between futures ETF and spot ETF. For the just to state a fact, we are talking so much about Bitcoin ETF. If it comes, it's a big thing and all that. I don't know whether we already have Bitcoin futures ETF live, right?
Yes.
So
It was in, I guess, October 2021.
correct.
Right?
So the reason is why future ETF is not that significant compared to this ETF is primarily because the major difference is future ETF are just contracts. Like it's just like a contract, and you don't need to own the actual asset. Whereas the spot ETF, let's say the underlying service provider, be it BlackRock or OneCo, whatever it is, they have to back it up with the actual Bitcoin. So which means like here, when the future ETFs comes and people started buying the contract, they no need to buy the actual Ethereum or actual Bitcoin. Whereas on spot ETF, if there is a huge demand of Bitcoin, hypothetically, let's say the ETF has been approved and it is live, so people they are allocating some funds out of their fund value to that. They have to back it up with the actual Bitcoin. So which means they have to buy the Bitcoin. There will be a Bitcoin buying pressure, right? So that pressure is not there in futures. That's the major difference.
So that's why the spot ETF will affect the market, whereas the
that
futures
actually
won't
creates
have.
that the buy and sell.
The supply
and
demand
demand.
thing. But these futures things, they are not going to affect the market as much because these are like sheer
That
pieces
provides
of paper.
Yes, that provides the avenue to play around or to get into the game, but not owning the actual stuff.
I hope the SEC approves them soon enough.
Right. Hoping so.
Everybody is like, waiting for that. That's like the big break for the industry itself, because
Right.
now we see it has grown over the past 10-15 years, and people have now started to acknowledge the fact that this has a great amount of potential. So, absolutely. Now, coming back to our question, Satish, we see that, like we already talked about, that market sentiments obviously do affect the whole scenario of a cryptocurrency, any particular cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
But how does this affect the technical analysis that you're looking at?
Second, as I told, technical analysis is just trying to position or pinpoint the levels where the action or the trigger is going to happen, right? So when, as I told, let's say a bull market happening, or the price of Bitcoin is increasing and the whole market, global ecosystem is also kind of going well, then the technical analysis would be primarily we anticipate the price is going to go up. It's all about we have to find the levels. So we'll be seeing all the resistance levels, right? If the market is reverse, if it is like bearish, we'll see the support levels, whether it's going to go to, let's say, maybe I will show in the chart, right? So it's my chart visible?
Yeah.
All right. So see, during this time, we will be seeing different support levels, and we see whether these support levels are getting breached. Now that's the reason why I told. If you have noticed, when I was talking about how it can go, I was only talking about this could be the level, this could be the level. These are the resistance level, right? So that's how the technical analysis works. In fact. I don't want to get into the numbers so that it might give false thing, like we can also, based on Fibonacci and stuff, we can come up with the ballpark figure. Again, it can be completely wrong as well, right? So we can see, like based on previous cycles, what can be the probable price that Solana and Cardano can go this cycle. So all those things can be done. Again, as I told, these things are all probabilities. So probably I can say there is a 60% probabilities, Cardano can go to $5. There is a 30% probability Cardano go to $8. There is a 90% probability Cardano go to $3. Right? That's how we can, and I'm not just saying these numbers. I'm just backing up with my technical analysis, right? But I can't state that 100% it will go to this. So those are the things that we have to take into consideration.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, there's something that, we often miss while we are discussing anything about any other cryptocurrency or any other topic. I really want to know what are the critical aspects that you see regarding Cardano and Solana, which might be a little problem maybe in the near future regarding the price or anything. Have you come across any?
See, they have their own set of challenges. Of course, one global challenge is the security stuff that SEC is coming up with, in which one common thing that
Yeah,
both
that they need
Solana
to
as well
be
as
secure.
Cardano, they team up is SEC, when they filed sue against Coinbase, they have mentioned both of them as securities, right?
Yes.
So this is one of the rare cases where I could see both of them in the same bucket, right? So this is one thing, like, but of course, going by the recent event that is happening in the legal system of SEC against crypto, I think there has been back-to-back wins for the crypto industry against the SEC. Right? So there is a good positive direction that is going. Right? So this might not be a major challenge, but definitely this should be into the consideration. What if there is some legal implication that may come, right? And whether it's going to impact the price, whether I'm safeguarded by it. So that should be one of your plans, right?
Absolutely.
And as I told, Solana has the own set of certain teething issues,
Challenges,
like
yes.
they have been associated with FTX and Alameda as the major chunk of investment. Whereas Cardano, they are, just they still have that, scalability issues. They are working on that, but they are not as fast as Solana, right? So probably, people definitely, when they see something very quick and stuff, for layman or for normal users, they might not appreciate decentralization vis-a-vis the speed, right? So the masses might prefer, okay, this is very fast, right? The others are very fast compared to Cardano. So that may be the kind of a negative point that Cardano can have. But on a very high level, right, one thing which I wanted to say is, in the technical, be it technical or whatever analysis, when you are trying to go in, one of the thing, again, it's all comes to only two words: greed and fear, right? So people or the user will tend to see, like, I wanted to, in a given, the ideal scenario would be we want to buy the pico bottom, the exact cent of the bottom, and we want to sell at the exact cent of the top. That is what everyone wants, right?
But that doesn't
But
happen.
that is very difficult and
Very
kind of
difficult.
practically impossible, right? Because by
Yeah,
the time when it is in the
exactly.
pico bottom, or not even the pico bottom, when it is in the vicinity of the bottom, you won't be in the position or having a mindset to buy it. You will be
Exactly,
driven by fear,
exactly.
right? And same goes for when it is in the top, you will be driven by madness of euphoria and greed. Like, you will be like, why should I take now? It will go even
Yeah,
further.
it'll go up.
All
We
right.
can sell it
So
later.
one thing what you can do is just don't try to time the bottom and top. Let's say we had a good percentage of a spread. If you take a meaty mid part, I think you will be doing fairly well, right? So one of the easiest way to do that is finding the promising project and start doing DCA, which is like just put very periodically some small amount, and we have a very very promising feature called SBP. I think Shambhavi was
Yes.
highlighting that in all sort of her content that she work on,
Yes.
and probably she can talk about it way much better about it. But we have a feature which will kind of designed and developed just for you guys.
Exactly. I mean, that is one of my most favorite features of Unocoin. So SBP is basically like SIP, you know, how you allocate a certain amount of money to it and then it starts getting debited on a particular fixed interval. Now, here what happens with SBP, you get monthly, daily, and weekly options. You can even start with as low as 10 rupees each day. If you are going to set it at daily, every day it's gonna deduct like 10 rupees from your wallet, invest it in that cryptocurrency, and then you don't have to worry about the market volatility. Someday the price is going to be up, someday it's going to be down, it's going to average it out. This is something we know as rupee cost averaging, and this kind of minimizes the risk of volatility. Even in our YouTube videos, you'll find that where I've explained about SPP, you'll get to know about it in a very comprehensive way. So, absolutely, our channels are always there. YouTube, our social media, if you keep following us everywhere, you will get to know plenty of stuff around the whole cryptocurrency scenario. So, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Also, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to have a quick update whenever we are going live. You know, you'll just get a notification, and there you go. You can join us at any time. Okay,
Right.
so I think Satish, this was a really great AMA, and I appreciate how you took time to explain about
sure,
these
my
two
pleasure.
things. I'm sure our audience today enjoyed it thoroughly, and even I enjoyed it thoroughly,
Right.
and even now I'm making up my mind. Okay, let's do some research on Cardano and Solana.
We
So
should.
obviously, guys, yeah. Obviously, guys, do not forget to do your own research. That's the primary step that you have to take in cryptocurrency. We'll see you again next week. Till then, bye bye. Keep following us. Thank you.
Thank you.